Who do you think are the biggest threat to Arsenal this season, Liverpool or Manchester City?
I understand why they have Arsenal as favourites. I just think the percentages probably could come down a bit more because you can never rule out Manchester City. Liverpool will arguably be second favourites and will run them close, but it'll be tight. You can never rule out a Pep Guardiola team, a Man City team with that quality and with a goal scorer in their team that's showing the form that he did when he first came in the Premier League, Erling Haaland. It's hard to rule them out or not have them fully in contention to win the Premier League.
There's loads of messages going along the bottom of the screen. There was one from Rick who said that the biggest threat to Arsenal is Arsenal themselves. Do you understand what he means?
I understand what he means because, and this has been the question over the last 1, 2, 3 years, that the question's always been they haven't got a goal scorer. They've been lucky with injuries. They haven't got the squad. Well, at the moment, they have built a squad. Mikel Arteta's built a squad big enough to deal with the amount of games that come and the demand of the Premier League. And look, they're showing that. They're rightly so at the top of the league. And the next 4 games are probably going to prove that their squad is strong enough and big enough to continue the fight all the way to the end.
Most of these Liverpool and Manchester City players have won the Premier League before, crucially. And that's our poll at the moment, is who is the biggest threat to Arsenal? Like I just asked Charlie, is it Liverpool or Manchester City? At the moment, Liverpool with 54% just beating Manchester City, and you were torn between the two, so I suppose that doesn't surprise you that it's not that far off 50-50.
Because there's never going to be a big margin between them two, because Arsenal, you say number one, but then it's them two, and it is close between them two. That's the issue, that there's no defining figure where you're like, oh, Man City have the edge or Liverpool do. They are tight, and it's going to run all the way to the wall. And we're having this conversation in October, and it's only going to be going month after month after month because we know the demand of the Premier League.
It's over a month since he scored, all right? Remember, that's in all competitions for club and country. But these were the kind of games that you've said in the past that he's been brought in to perform in. Fulham away, OK, listen, every game's difficult, but that is a hard game. Yeah. Home to Crystal Palace, away at Burnley and away at Sunderland. Is this where Gyökeres really takes off for Arsenal? Because these are the games where they need it.
I got a lot of stick for saying I thought he'd be a flat track bully, but that's what so far that's what he's been proving. He hasn't scored for a month, club or country. You look at them next 4, yes, Fulham, tough, but you'd expect him to score. That's what he's been brought into the Jordan last season.
It's not Man City, that's the point.
That's what the point. Palace, if it was at home, if it was at Selhurst Park, different, because Palace at home, a phenomenal side, in a way they can't match that up. But still a tough game. And then they go Burnley away, Sunderland away, and that's where you expect him to flourish. That's where you expect him to score. In the next 4 games in the Premier League, I expect him to score 3 in 4 goals. We're going to be 1 in 2. I'm not even having the 1 in 2s now. I expect him to go in 4 goals in that. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at his record before he came to Arsenal against the lesser teams, yes, in Portugal, he's just scored bundles against the lesser teams.
It looks like his main competition to start is probably Kai Havertz, who's still injured. So Gyökeres is going to continue to get this run of games. But you think that Havertz could actually be a threat to his place, don't you?
I do, yeah. And on a confidence position as well, Havertz is injured. It's probably a good thing for Gyökeres, but also Mikel Arteta looking at it going, well, I can't take Victor Gyökeres out because if I play Marino, then that opens a whole big can of worms and everyone's questioning, do I have faith in him anymore? But for me, I do think if Kai Havertz comes back, I think he'll slots in there, and that was backed up by Jamie, the Arsenal fan earlier, that said he expects Havertz to come in and Gyökeres to come out.
Liverpool are higher up in the table, so it's only fair. Do you see Arsenal extending their lead before the next international break?
Yeah, I think the run of fixtures they've got for the next 4 Premier League games are they're definitely more favourable than Liverpool or City. So I'm with Charlie on that one. I'd be surprised if they didn't take maximum points from them. I think if they're not going to, I think it'll be the game at the weekend against Fulham where they potentially drop points. I would say for Arsenal though, I think that the thing that keeps me optimistic at the moment, and I don't know if Matthew feels the same, but it's the way Arsenal are playing at the moment that keeps me optimistic. People kept saying about Liverpool that the way we were playing was unsustainable, and I've got the same view on the way Arsenal are sort of reliant on set pieces and kind of scraping 1-0 wins or low scoring wins in Premier League games at the moment as well.
Yeah, what do you think, Matthew? I mean, just to remind you of Arsenal's fixtures, because you'll know your own off the top of your head, but Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home, Burnley away and Sunderland away are their league games between now and the next international break.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see them dropping points in that run there. You know, for me, they've been the strongest team so far this season. Obviously, like the Liverpool fan said, they've not been overly convincing, but they've got the job done. And a couple of their new guys have come in and hit the ground running, and that always helps the team. But yeah, it's across the length of the season. I just can't see them keeping it up. I really can't.
So well, we can bring up the fixtures actually for all three clubs, because Charlie's gone through them, and well, all three of you have actually got Arsenal down to get maximum points. So, Connor, if you go through the Liverpool ones, then Matthew can go through the Manchester City ones, and we can work out how many points Arsenal will be clear according to all of you. Liverpool then first, then Connor.
Yeah, well, I think similar to as Charlie said, I think that United game on Sunday is a massive game for us. We have to win that one, and for me, it's not even so much about winning it; it's as much as it's the performance that we put in as well. If it's if we manage to scrape a 1-0 win, then I'm worried about us going into Brentford and Villa as well, and definitely the City game. If we put in a decent performance and it looks like things start to click, then I've got us down to take maximum points in those. But then, of course, that City away fixture is the hardest one to predict out of the four. So would you take a draw away at the Etihad? I probably would, yeah.
Yeah, OK, but that's what Charlie had down as well. All right, Matthew, for Manchester City, where are you dropping points, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think Everton isn't a tough game. Well, isn't an easy game. Sorry, I mean, but the fact that Jack Grealish won't be playing is a huge boost. Obviously he's been their main man so far this season, so I fancy us there. Villa away, it's no matter what Villa you face, I feel like that's always a bit of a difficult ground for City to go to. But the way things are at the moment, Villa struggling a little bit, City finding form. I fancy us. Bournemouth, obviously we've talked in length about them in the past. Semenyo's on fire at the moment. Not going to be easy as well, but obviously Liverpool's the big test. Yeah, I'd probably take a draw as well, in fairness, but
Since joining Arsenal, Giocas has already had some eye-catching moments. He made a very strong impression in the 5-0 win over Leeds, scoring twice, one from open play, one from the spot, and announcing himself to the fans. Arteta has also publicly backed him, saying that Giocas' ceiling is very, very far, and praising his work ethic, attitude, and willingness to take responsibility in the team. His early goals and commitment have delivered a boost in confidence, not just in him, but across the squad. That said, it hasn't all been perfect. In big games, he's had quieter spells, lower involvement, fewer touches, and moments where the service into him hasn't matched his movement. For example, in the match against Manchester City, he was somewhat isolated and struggled to impact the play as much as fans hoped. Some critics and pundits have questioned whether he has the consistency and presence to lead the line in top-tier fixtures. But I see these as growing pains, especially in a league as sharp as the Premier League. What impresses me most is how he adds different dimensions to Arsenal's attack. He drags defenders, creates space for wide players, presses aggressively, and links play well when he drops in slightly. Some analysis suggests his movement helps open gaps in the opposition defence and makes Arsenal more unpredictable, especially down the channels. He's not just the finisher, he's been working hard to be part of the team's skeleton movement. In my view, Giocas is already proving to be a very good signing. He's not flawless, but that's to be expected at first. The promise is there: goals, movement, pressing, attitude. If he improves his consistency and the service to him gets sharper, he could become a real force for Arsenal. For now, he feels like a rising star with room to climb, and I'm excited to see how much higher he can go this season.